Welcome to this basics course in visual communication for legal professionals. Legal visualization is a form of translation from text-based legal content into an integrated visual design. The quality of the information needs to stay the same. This course is built in 5 lessons. The first lesson is on legal facelifts, before and after. Lesson 2, the 3 design principles. Lesson 3, visual thinking tools. The next lesson is about the 3-step design method. The last lesson gives tips to keep practicing. It takes about 3 hours to watch the lessons and practice with the exercises. At the end, you will have a clear idea about the bones of a legal infographic, you will practice with several visual thinking tools, and you are equipped with the basic method to start making your own legal infographics. Combining legal terms, concepts and structures into well-integrated visuals is a more advanced skill and takes more design practice. This will be covered in the Legal Information Design course. You are taking this course because you want to make legal visuals. Let's define what we mean by that. It's not just any visual image that has some legal reference, for example a traffic sign, an icon, a map, etc. With legal visuals we mean legal infographics. An intentional design to give a user a practical selection of relevant information on a certain legal topic, visually organized in a way that makes sense to the user. This sounds like a very abstract definition, but it perfectly covers the building blocks that you will learn in this course: understanding your user, selecting relevant legal information, organizing into meaningful visual displays. Let's get started. Where do most legal documents live? Indeed, in a physical or virtual file cabinet. Certainly not a reference at hand, hard to find when you need it. Is that the best place? Don't you wish that the user will keep their legal documents handy and keep an eye on them? Let's look at some before and after examples so you can decide for yourself. This one seems obvious. You can certainly read and comprehend the text-based information, but the visual redesign brings immediate understanding, practical and user-friendly. So now let's transfer this efficiency to the legal context. Before, you see the inside text from a trifold court brochure for self-represented parties on how to prepare their evidence. After, you see a one-page overview with the main takeaways jumping out through contrast, visual grouping and visual cues. In the white circles on top, the evidence you select needs to be relevant, specific and authentic. Parties wanting to bring their phone to show the judge their evidence is a persistent misstep in court. The crossed out icon of a phone highlights that it is a no-go. Here you see a visual consumer contract for a Dutch energy company, the terms and conditions sheet. After the makeover, the topics are grouped in 4 clusters, supported with icons for quick reference, and the document is translated in plain language. This is a mandatory disclosure that real estate agents in Colorado need to give to their clients before starting to work with them. It's a boring technical document to use while starting to develop rapport with a new client, not quite an icebreaker. The visual makeover distinguishes the 3 types of working relationships visually. The overall visual is intended to give a relational map in the context of people buying and selling homes as a more user-friendly way to start working on a transaction that will involve a lot of fine print. Improved patient information about consent forms for a medical healthcare innovation project by the American Cardiology Foundation. The original document was so generic, technical and scary that most patients declined to participate in the trial. The consent askers, the medical staff, needed assistance to explain the documents better. A toolkit of visual explanations in chalkboard style created a more conversational approach for everyone involved. The information is organized around FAQs and answers. The original text is from the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, in typical formal legislative language, without a way to engage the public and without a call to action. This visual, not designed by Legal Visuals but found on the internet, gives an immediate reference of the topic, both in the title and through the photo. The various rights are laid out and supported. The makeover results in a much more engaging, informative document that supports the call to action on the bottom of the poster. This visual speaks to the everyday legal dilemma that we all face, especially online: to read or not to read. We can't buy, sign up or use anything without running into a button that hides a wall of fine print. To bypass this obstacle to move on to what we came for, most of us will blindly click accept. But if we could get a roadmap with the overview of what we actually say yes to in the form of a clear infographic, I believe most people would be willing to take 2 minutes or at least 2 seconds to look at it and then decide if they're in or out. It would also prompt the makers of these so-called adhesion contracts to make their terms more commercially attractive. I may be optimistic, but as lawyers we should aspire to a higher bar for a more workable model for everyday legal transactions. If we show it can be done better, consumers will start to expect better. To make a clear distinction, although this infographic hints at legal subject matter, is highly informative and well designed, this type is not what we understand to be a legal facelift. It's a data graphic based on data analysis of statistic information. The before image would look like an Excel spreadsheet with numbers, not like a text-based legal document. We focus on the visual translation of legal concepts and legal processes to make legal content more user-friendly for people. The purpose of these statistics infographics is to explain the data in order to make a policy decision. However, these type of numeric infographics could become a part of a legal argument or legal strategy. Litigation graphics often include data visualizations to support parties' arguments. The first ingredient of a legal infographic was missing. It was not a practical selection of legal information, it was a data set. Making legal visuals is like baking. Watching the cooking show is not enough. You have to do it yourself to develop new skills. To complete this lesson, it is your turn to practice and apply these ideas to your own legal work. Please look in the course materials section to download the workbook for this course. You will be asked to think about a type of legal document that is due for a makeover and to come up with 3 first ideas, thumbnail sketches for how to make it bite-sized for your user. It's your course. Make it happen.